So before I started to spin this, I reeled this silk, which is in another video. I re-reeled it onto these paper towel tubes because I didn't have enough wooden bobbins to be able to hold all of the silk that I needed. So this very small filament, which you can see on my black pants here, is actually about 12 filaments of cocoon. So 12 cocoons, their single filaments make up this single filament. And what I'm doing today is I am taking 4 of these, and these are untwisted. Taking 4 of these and twisting them together on the spinning wheel. And this is called throwing the silk or doubling the silk, even though it's technically quadrupling the silk. So I have my 4 tubes. I have them set up in an egg carton. I thought that it would be easiest if the silk came off of the top of the spools, but they end up falling off and just sort of unraveling on the floor, and that works just fine. So it's not real necessary to have them stationary or on a free spinning anything on the floor is just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is take all 4 of my small filaments and tie a knot in the end so that they all stay together. And I've already had one fall off of the egg carton, and it doesn't matter. And I'm going to thread this through the orifice, pull it out on the other side, and I'm going to take the leader thread and just tie the silk onto it. This can get gently pulled back through the orifice. Now, if you notice, the hooks are offset slightly. This one is further up than this one, and then there's one very far back here. So I discovered the best way to do this to prevent the silk from breaking on this spinning bobbin is to start the silk at the top and then thread it through this bottommost hook. And that will prevent the silk from being rubbed on the bobbin as it spins. So getting it started is the kind of tricky part because the ratio of this particular wheel is 7:1. So for every push of my treadle and the big wheel spins 1 time, the bobbin is going to spin 7 times. And I'm trying to get a consistent twist of about 20 twists per inch. So I want to feed the silk in, my knot's not tight enough. I want to feed the silk in 1 inch at a time every time I push the treadle about 3 times. I've been going 4 because I'm not entirely certain that I'm putting exactly an inch in every single time. So I am spinning this clockwise. So I'm going to get it started here. I'm just going to let the leader thread wrap around the bobbin. And I'm going to feed with my left hand and hold with my right hand. You don't want to be pulling on the silk because it will break on these hooks. But you want to prevent the silk from feeding onto the bobbin until it has twisted. And I had to play with this tension a bit. If the tension is too high, then the flyer wheel won't spin and you just get wrapping of the thread around the bobbin and no twisting, because then this mechanism doesn't twist the thread. If it's too loose, then you get a lot of twisting and no winding. So I found that I couldn't get this loose enough and then decided it needed to be oiled. So I'm just going to put, this is just a syringe full of mineral oil, and I'm just going to put a little squirt of oil in this mechanism to make sure that it's nice and lubricated so that it slides very easily. Okay, we can start spinning.